Zoom and hello everybody on Facebook. I'm glad you can make it today. I hope you were with us yesterday. The brand ambassadors and friends did a phenomenal job in doing the ochres, and next time we'll be doing the siennas. Today
Oh,
we have Anders Andersson. Anders is a brand ambassador from Sweden. He's a good friend. Just saw him in Frankfurt. He's a wonderful artist. He has huge insights on how to paint. One of the things that he does that I don't see many people do, some do, but not many, is paint with his artwork standing up. And
mm.
he's fearless. I don't know what he'll be doing today. He'll tell us. Welcome, Anders.
thank you so much.
You're so
Yeah,
welcome.
wonderful. I met you, John, a week ago. Wonderful in
Yeah,
Frankfurt.
yeah,
Yeah, this time we didn't eat the Mexican food. Otherwise, we usually do that, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Usually that's our thing is we have Mexican food with Anders in Germany.
Okay. Yeah. Talking about my philosophy of painting, I more or less go with the flow, listen to the paper and the pigments and see what's happening on the paper and you try to interfere in this difficult medium. Actually, when I started, people told me that watercolor is so difficult. So I thought I make it a try then. And I figure out sometimes it's difficult, but usually if you don't force it in a direction that you don't want, then it's very difficult. But also you paint with a lot of experience, of course. When the paint dries, it have another color and things like that. So actually you always paint with experience and by painting a lot you got more and more experience. I think I will show you some techniques today and do a small demo. Talk a little bit about how I paint. And yeah, we have an hour in front of us. And if you have any questions, just speak out or send it with the chat. And we have some guys checking the chat all the time. And then you can interrupt and ask questions every time. That's more fun when you do that.
Mhm. And John, by the way, Anders is all ready with his social handles, so it's all up on his camera. So
Okay,
everybody will be able to see his handles in Instagram and Facebook. And so we can
awesome.
proceed if Anders is ready. We can now
Yeah.
proceed with his demo.
Yeah, I switch over to my camera and it's facing down to my yeah place where I will paint. Okay, but I will start with some thoughts. Um, I have thinking a lot of how when a painting will be a good one, and actually it's more or less. You see this?
Yes,
Like, yeah, good. Actually, when you have you need to know that the technique and technique. What I it's yeah how to hold the brushes and what color you have in your palette and all that thing. The other thing is the composition. You need to have a good composition, and it's a lot of books about that in uh, yeah around the world. So I will not talk so much about compositions today. I will talk more about techniques. Then, but when you paint, you need to have some sort of mood or feeling. Um, some sort of if you have a high key or a low key painting or uh, a silent one or a lot of colors. And if you combine these three things, you end up with a good painting. And it's this here you end up with a good painting. And it's not so often you do that. I can assure you. I maybe I end up with 1 of 10 that I'm really pleased with when I came into this little square. Of course, we have another thing that's also the watercolorist like a lot, and that's equipment. And it's easels and palettes and brushes and all that thing. So actually, it's all these 4 things when you're out painting. And actually, it's really easy to do a good painting. You just have to have the right wetness of the paper, and you have the right amount of pigment in your brush, and then you put the brush on the right spot in the right time. So these 4 things, then it's you do a good, yeah, you can do watercolor. But all this is about timing, actually. It's a timing of wetness of the paper. It's also timing of how much pigment you have in your brush, and also the right timing of when you put the brush on the paper. And I have figured out a thing. Josef, he has his watercolor clock, and that's a little bit. I think it's a little bit complicated. I'm a technician, so I will now for this session. Now it's come the most important thing, and that actually answered the 2 questions: the wetness of paper and the amount of pigment in your brush. So we have here on this axis we have paper, and on this axis we have pigment. And pigment inside your brush. And here's the paper is dry, and here's the paper is wet. And here's we have the blending, or the amount of pigment in the brush. We have a tea blending, or a blending like butter, straight from the tube. So actually what's happened now is you have the wetness of paper and also the pigment in your brush. So when you go into a dry paper with a tea blending, then you have a happy guy. That works very fine, doing washes. You can also go in with a dry paper and also with a butter consistence of the color of the pigment in your brush. That works fine also. And also you can go, if you have wet paper, that works really fine as well. I think you're familiar with this. But when you go in with a tea blending on a wet paper, that don't work so good actually. You get no effects whatsoever. But now we have a really dangerous zone, and that's inside here. Here is when the paper is damp, half wet, half dry. Then you get a lot of problems, or you can do a lot of nice things in this area. And I will show you in the demonstration how you can use this area to do things. But actually you have three good spots and a bad one, and you have a spot where you can do a lot of funny things. I will come back with this as long as I do the demonstration. One thing that John mentioned is I painting with a paper in an angle. I can show you. If you look at the paper from the side, here we have the paper, and this is more or less the drive in when I do my paintings. I start up here, the starting point, and then I go down with the first wash. I got the water rim here, a bead, and then I go down, and I will show you how this works. And it can only works if you have an angle, and the angle is could be 35.3 degrees around. So this is you have to experiment how steep you can do this. If you get too steep, then it will fall off, and you got the whole fall off. If you got too less, then you don't get the bead in a good way. So you have to experiment with this. Okay, I think this is important.
Anders, may I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
You showed about the water going down the incline as you have inclined your paper. I'm familiar with some variations of how that changes the behavior of the paint. Would you be willing to share how the incline changes the behavior of the paint? Because we'll see the evidence when it's dry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will maybe I ask when I do I can ask a question when I do the demonstration, maybe.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. So I have a paper. I usually go on 300 grams. I think it's 140. And I'd like a rough surface. And this is Arches, this paper, and it's a half sheet paper. And before I used to tape it alongside around, but nowadays I just paint on the paper. It takes too much time to tape it on, and I don't bother if it's going to be a little bit uneven. So yeah, I always start with a small sketch with yeah, have a pen. It's a 2 millimeter. I think it's 2B. Okay. I'll show you some tricks also with razors and things like that. We have some grease here. I think this is not enough. Actually, the sketch is for me when I come down here with the wash, and so I understand that I need to stop here. Yeah, okay. Now we are here. We have a dry paper, and I will go for almost a tea blending. So I will start in this section. And a tea blending, you can see here. The palette is actually your friend, and you have to look into how thick it is, the paint, I will do a little thicker. I go more or less to cream. And I do a gray background. This yellow I got from, this is the new yellow, is the Janne Brilliant #1. I like it a lot. Good one, John.
Thank you, Anders.
So that together with blue, and the blue here is cobalt. I got a grayish mix. Actually, the yellow blends with the blue and become gray, a little green in it, but not so much as you can see here. And I do a bigger wash. I have some. I can clean my palette with this. Okay. I look at how this is. It's about, yeah, a little bit creamy, not so much tea. So actually, I will start with dry paper and a little bit up here. Okay. I go in with the first wash, and here you can see the rim or the bead. What was talking about, this one. See, like here. So then you can go on with the next one. As long as you have that bead, it's okay. And now I put in more water in this. Maybe going a little bit yellow in the end here. I usually skip, so I have more or less white paper in the horizon. It's easy to paint it over it, but it's maybe I can use that later. But for now I have that to see what I can do with it. And you see here again we have the bead, the rim. The brush I use here is a mop brush. It's natural hair.
We have a comment from
Yes.
BJ saying, I wish someone had explained this to me 12 years ago when I began.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So actually this is the background. It's really quick and easy. And I have only used 2 colors. The wonderful new color here, and I put in cobalt. Maybe I did some ultramarine. Talking about my palette here, I have cool colors up here, some earth colors, and some warm colors in that end. So that's the range of the palette. I have some indigo, like the indigo, ultramarine. We have cobalt, sepia, burnt sienna. I only have one green. I have some problems painting green, but a wonderful undersea green. I like it a lot. And here is coal red and a warm red, Austrian crimson, and this is purple orange, ochre, and I think this is Hansa yellow. Yeah. Now I will go in and paint the stones here, and now we have this one again. The paper is half wet, so actually I can't go in with too weak blending. I need to go in stronger with a more or less a butter consistency. It's still wet. So what I do is I will before this demonstration, I poured out the paint from the tubes into my palette here. So here, if you see here, it's really sticky, this color, this paint. Comparing to the other one, you see here, it's still creamy, but this is sticky. So then I can go in with
We have a question on Facebook asking
yes,
if the paper that you're currently working on is at an angle now. Thank you.
yes, it is. It is.
And about how much of an angle?
You can have the camera and look from the side. So
Thank you.
it's about, maybe it's about 20 degrees. I put it a little bit less than usual, and that's because of I have the lamp. It will be a little bit darker if I put it a bigger angle than this. So it's
So your desk itself is angled. You're not using anything to angle your paper.
say it again.
Your desk is angled.
Yeah.
There was a question in Facebook about what you were using to angle your paper. So I just wanted to make sure that was correct.
It's a desk, yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I can show you the desk later on, how it works. Here's a trick. You can use a razor, and it's about timing. I have blended the color here. I have blended with some cobalt and also with some brownish. So when I take the razor here, and I can do the stones with the razor blade. And maybe I can go up here. No, it's already dried, the trees. So we have to do them with a brush. So I go in and do the trees with a brush. Like that. Then I have a really nice brush. This is an old brush that I've used for my house, and it's plastic. So this is really good to do reflections. And I have some spare here, and I have some spare here, and I do a mix, and then I can go down, do some reflections with this. Then we go the other way. Still only have a few colors. I think so far we have done with 3 different colors. it takes some blue in down here. It's a good reflection. We have some blue up here. We can do a little bluish down here. The good thing with this brush is that it don't take so much paint. Yeah, take it do a tree here. And another. Yeah, this is a rigger. Very good doing these type of straws. And I hold it a bit up, so it's more or less uncontrolled when I do these things. Talking about timing, this is half wet, these trees, so I can go in and put some paint there, and now the paint I put in there is really sticky, so actually it could paint itself. Maybe we could try to go in with some white. It's white from the tube, and you can help it with a little bit water here, just dripping in water. The funny thing with watercolor, actually, you can sit down and look when it paints itself. So now the watercolor paint the trees for me. Like I have to help a little here. You have some reflections. It can.
Anders, you make this look so easy, but you've spent years and hours, looking at these scenes and working with your techniques. And so for like someone who's just beginning, if they start working like you're doing, it won't turn out this way because it really takes years and years to make it look simple, right?
Yeah, it's actually the thing is you have to listen to what's happened on the paper and not go in too quick with a tissue or something to correct things. Let it happen and see what's happened on that, and learn from the painting in a way. So actually it experience, of course it is. I have painted a lot of paintings. I do very many. I'm around 200 a years, and not everyone is good. I can assure you, half of them I have to throw away. So
Thank you.
yeah, so it's true. It looks easy, but it's yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I think it's easy. But after a while you paint, and actually this subject I have been painting several times, so it's not new for me doing this. I have another brush showing you that's like a lot. And this is this one. It's a feather, but it's not so many hair left. So this one is also good going in doing some leaves like that. And it's really funny. So be careful, don't do it too much. I don't know if you can see it, but here happens really funny things. This area here, it was not my attention, but it looked like roots in a way. It was not me painting that, but it was the watercolor. So it's things happened, and just take care of what's happened on the paper. And again, here's half wet, and I go in with almost butter. And if you are in that, now we're working now in this area. It's half wet, and you can do a lot of things. You can, for instance, that you can lift up color the paint. The best way to lift is to use a flat brush, because you have a lot of hair, and you go it in that direction, and be sure that you clean it, and you have tissue, and you clean it again, and then you go in. And also when you are in this area, you can now we have loaded this with only water, and you can just put some water on it, and then you see things happen on the paper, and you can go in with water in your brush and do like ripples like this. It's all about timing, actually. If you're too early, you don't get any. If you're too late, you will not get any as well. So it's more or less the feeling of the wetness of the paper, and how much you have in your brush. And I'm not so fond of masking fluid, so actually I use ordinary watercolor direct from the tube when I want to do some white spots.
Your friend George Politis is in
Yes.
Facebook, and he says hello. And
Hello,
hello, George.
hello, George. See you in Bologna, hopefully. So half wet, can go in and do like this, and yeah, it paint itself. It's maybe we'll put some birds in it. Do some, I think they are low flying birds like that. But when you think, what else could I put in here? Then you start to say to yourself, maybe you should leave it for a while, and then come back later and see what I can I can do. I think, yeah. Yeah, I think that's okay for now for this demonstration. I have some more nice things to show you. I've seen students that they have a paper besides and they check the color beside and then they take the color and put it into the painting. But I think it's better to put the paint direct on the paper. And I will show you a funny thing why it's so important to paint or blend direct on the paper. Here is a gray thing, and as you see, this spot is darker than that one. Everyone can see that, but actually it's the same darkness, because I have a spot here in my hand. You see this is the same, and if I move it up here, you see it's still the same. This is not magic. It's actually your brain that says that this is darker than that one. So this paint or this hue or contrast affects on what's besides. So blending on the side of your painting and then go into your painting is rather unnecessary, because you don't know how your paint on the painting will react, because it don't react the same as in the palette of paper besides. So you see, this is really strange. It's the same color here and same here, but it affects what's surround. Okay, in Frankfurt we did a demonstration of doing some figures, and I think I will show you the same. And it's really funny, just sitting on an airport or waiting for a bus or something. You can sit down and just have two brushes and two colors doing that. I blend some brown thing, and for head I use red. Actually, when doing figures, have a big body, small legs, arms, and then you can switch over to do the head. You can do an here's an old man walking. A lady dancing. If you can use, you can do a It's a family. Don't count the legs. Maybe you have a guy running. like this. Or guy coming with a vine. Yeah, you can do endless of figures, but sometimes figures are difficult to make. This I made with a big body. You can also make figures like this. If you're really hard making them, you can do a M, and then you do a W, and then a head and arms. This is a way also to make figures. Another thing, what I'm used to do is actually when you have when you figure out to put figures in a painting, you can. I have a painting here, a street scene, a common street scene like this. Then you can do cutouts. Cut out some figures. This is a black and white figures. This is a really black painting. So maybe before I put in figures, I figure out where to put a figure. Could it be here? And no, here it can't be. You see the relation to the car. Maybe it should be there or there. Or if I have a big figure, I put it here. Or a small one up here. The thing is actually here we have a guy and a kid, and here they have moved away. And the thing, but when you do figures in paintings, be sure that the head is on the same level, because it's looked really weird if you paint them like that, a black one, or like that. This can't be here. Maybe it's a rat. So this is a way to, before you go in with your paint, you can just play with where you want the figures, and often it's always good to combine figures connecting to each other. Maybe they are a little bit too big there. Maybe they should be up here. And this one here. We do that. Yeah. That's also an idea how to do figures, do cutouts, and try them. When I outside painting, I used to take a small branch and put it in the painting and see the angle, or how should it look like. It more or less a design thing. Maybe we wanted to have a tree branch coming down here in the foreground. Doing that with and not doing some pre-study, that's really difficult to paint a branch coming down here if you haven't do some sort of tests before. yeah, it starts to dry, and yeah, it's I don't bother so much if it's sprinkle. Yeah, I got some nice granulations down here. Yeah, it just happened. Okay, we can. I can also show you a trick. Contrast is really your friend, and sometimes you can't see the contrast. You can squint your eyes, or you can do a filter. I don't know if you see this. This is a red filter. Then you see only black and white, or now black and red, and it's a filter. Just using that, and you can see where it's the darkest dark and the lightest light. So that's also a tip for you. Actually, when you're outside painting, then it's good to have this one and see, because it's sometimes difficult to locate where it's darkest and where it's the lightest. Okay. Any questions?
Yep, there's a question about how long have you been painting, and do you have training in art?
Yeah, my mother is a glass, or was a glass designer. So all the stuff has been around me since I've been a kid. But actually, for I think 20 years ago, I thought that okay, I will let the watercolor try, because everyone said it's so difficult. So actually, what I did was I looked up what I thought was the best watercolorists in the world, and I found a guy. He had one course, 1 week each year in France. So I went there, and that was Josef Sebukovic for about 15 years ago. So I learned a lot of what he has been doing, and he's a good one. And actually, sometimes if you look at these teachers, look more how they hold the brushes, how they blend the colors, instead of looking what they are actually painting. Look how they take the paint from the palette, and yeah, how they act, how they look, how they squints the eyes and all that thing. And these things you can't see on YouTube. You need to see it in real life. I don't know if that was answer your question, but
It was a wonderful answer and more. Thank you.
yeah, okay, thank you.
So when you observe like that, Anders, what are you actually gaining by watching his physical features or hers?
Yeah, because these guys, that they have painting so much, so they do things that they don't think about. What I've figured out actually is when you have your palette, and if you really careful when you take up your pigments, you get another effect. Instead of blending everything in too much, if you pick up your pigments really gentle and then put it gently on the paper, you get a different effect on the paper.
Oh.
So actually, that's I've seen when when Joseph pick up his pigment from his palette, he do it in a certain way. But what he do is automatically because he don't think about that, and maybe he don't tell anyone. But I don't know. So small things actually is actually you have to study how they do it, and sometimes they don't notice actually what they're doing actually. Alvaro is really a nice example. It looks like he paints randomly, but he's really have a plan in his paintings. So that's that's interesting to look and try to adopt things that you like and skip things that you don't like. So it's a journey, and you will never be full. You never end up with I still haven't done my best painting. I think next one will be a better one than the painting I did today. So,
Anders, what is your favorite subject?
I like to be outside painting. I have a small cottage and a boat, and I go out and paint, and there is water and trees, and I think then I can sit there for hours and paint in any direction. So that's and actually I developed the skills of painting quick because everything changes when you're outside. And in Sweden, in wintertime, you can't be outside for too long. You freeze to death. So you go out, paint, and then you go inside. So having hot water in your cup, and then you can paint for a while, 10 minutes, and then everything freezes. So. And I really recommend go outside painting because you learn a lot. It's difficult, 10 times more difficult than painting in the studio, but you learn if you can bring something from what you have been outside painting into your studio, it will affect your career really good.
What do you use for a setup when you're painting outdoors?
Yeah, I can show you the setup. Actually, I've done the setup here. Hang on. It takes some years to develop. First, I have the easel is actually a photo easel. It's a carbon, so it's real light. And I have glued a thing on the board, and this is actually I can show you. I have plenty of these, and it's glued like this, right on the. So I put this on the easel. I have no extra board, so this is the paper and also the board, and then a lot of clamps, hanging strings. You have my brushes, a spray bottle, and actually the newest thing is that the palette here I have glued a metal sheet there, so it's sticks on like this with 2 magnets.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's easy. So everything look like this.
Thank you.
So usually you bring too much when you're outside painting. You don't need so much actually.
Wow. That was awesome, Anders.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting when we're in Germany, people will go behind Anders and just watch, and then he'll flip his easel around and engage them, and it's just wonderful he's such a easy person to talk to, and as people have said, he's inspirational in many ways. Thank you for taking the time to be with us, Anders.
Yeah.
Always a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining today. I'm glad you could be here, and hope to see you next week. And Anders, probably sometime this year in Italy.
In Italy, yes, yes, and some of you others, yeah, we will see
Italy.
Italy.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Anders.
Thank you,
you.
Anders.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Anders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.